And a body shot. Oh, and he hit him while he was down.
William Zepeda is set to face former world champion Tevin Farmer on November 16th in Riyadh, marking an important test on Latino night. This matchup serves as crucial preparation for Zepeda, currently the #1 ranked lightweight contender, as he gears up for a potential WBC title challenge against Shakur Stevenson in 2025. While Farmer, a seasoned veteran, believes he has a solid shot against Zepeda, the odds seem stacked against him. Many expect this fight to mirror Zepeda's recent dominant performances, which include knockouts of Mercedo Gesta and Maxie Hughes. Farmer, at 34, may lack the youth, power, and offensive prowess needed to keep Zepeda at bay. A showdown between Zepeda and Stevenson is tentatively slated for February, but that's far from certain. Stevenson, recovering from a hand injury, might be advised to take a tune-up fight first, a decision that will fall to his new promoter, Eddie Hearn. If Zepeda delivers another emphatic victory over Farmer, similar to his dismantling of Giovanni Cabrera and Hughes, Stevenson may opt for a safer interim fight. Rushing into a high-stakes clash with Zepeda could jeopardize Stevenson's long-term goals, particularly the lucrative fight against Gervonta Davis in 2025. It's widely believed that Hearn signed Stevenson with this mega fight in mind. Zepeda versus Farmer will feature on the undercard of the highly anticipated Gilberto Ramirez versus Chris Billamsmith bout at the venue in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Farmer, a former champion with years of experience, brings technical skills and ring IQ to the table. However, at this stage in his career, it's unclear how much he still has in the tank. Even so, this fight should provide insight into where Zepeda stands as a potential future world champion. If the Stevenson-Zepeda fight does materialize, it likely won't happen until late 2025, assuming Stevenson remains the WBC champion. However, should Stevenson face Gervonta Davis next or after a tune-up, he could lose his title, eliminating the need to take on a dangerous opponent like Zepeda altogether. Stevenson has expressed confidence in his ability to beat Zepeda, seemingly ready for a February date without a tune-up. However, his promoter Hearn might think twice if Zepeda steamrolls through Farmer as expected. After all, Hearn didn't sign Stevenson to an expensive two-fight deal just to risk an upset loss before the potential blockbuster against Davis. It's worth noting how Hearn has carefully managed his fighters in the past. Take Edgar Berlanga, for example. After signing Berlanga, Hearn matched him with lesser opponents like Jason Quigley and Podrick McCrory, setting him up for a major payday against Canelo Alvarez. Despite being outclassed by Canelo, Berlanga was positioned for a big fight. Hearn may employ a similar strategy with Stevenson, offering him a softer opponent in February before setting up the high-profile unification bout against Tank Davis. In an unexpected twist, Terence Crawford has handed Teofimo Lopez a lifeline by suggesting a fight against former 154-pound world champion Israil Madrimov as a key to earning a shot at his title. Lopez, eager to reignite his career, would need to move up 2 weight classes to face the hard-hitting Madrimov, a daunting task that could catapult him back into the spotlight if successful. Madrimov, often compared to Gennady Golovkin due to his devastating power in both hands, would present a dangerous challenge for Lopez. The Uzbek fighter's relentless style and knockout power have earned him a reputation as one of the most feared punchers in the division. A clash between Lopez and Madrimov would surely generate massive intrigue, with the boxing world curious to see how Teofimo, a natural 140-pounder, handles the jump to the 154-pound division. For Crawford, who remains unbeaten and arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, a bout with Lopez is a tantalizing prospect. If Lopez can clear the Madrimov hurdle. Lopez, once hailed as boxing's next big thing after his shocking victory over Vasily Lomachenko in 2020, has struggled to maintain that momentum, with a string of underwhelming performances leaving his career at a crossroads. Now 27, Lopez faces a crucial decision. If he's serious about chasing a mega fight against Crawford, he'll need to accept the challenge of Madrimov, who nearly dethroned Crawford in their August showdown at the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. In that fight, Madrimov came dangerously close to pulling off the upset, landing heavy right hands that tested Crawford like never before. The scorecards were tight, 115-113, 116-112, and 115-113. But Crawford's experience and ring IQ ultimately carried him to a narrow victory. Many believe Madrimov's hesitance in the later rounds cost him the fight, a mistake that Lopez will need to capitalize on if they meet. Lopez, however, has his own demons to face. After his career-defining win over Lomachenko, he struggled to replicate that form. Some analysts believe that Lomachenko's grueling pressure took something out of Lopez, leaving him a shadow of the fighter he once was. Since then, Lopez's performances have been inconsistent, with only his victory over Josh Taylor standing out from a series of lackluster outings. His recent struggles include lackluster performances against Jermaine Ortiz, Pedro Campa, and Sandor Martin, while his shocking loss to George Kambosos Jr. in 2021 shattered the aura of invincibility he once had. Despite these setbacks, Lopez still possesses the talent and charisma to become a star again, but he needs a standout performance to re-establish himself as an elite fighter. A victory over Madrimov could be that opportunity, but it won't come easy. The Uzbek fighter has the power to end the fight with a single punch, and his aggressive style will test Lopez's endurance and resolve like never before. For Lopez, this fight represents a gamble, a chance to redeem himself and put his career back on track, or a risk that could further derail his once bright future. For the boxing world, a potential Lopez-Crawford showdown is tantalizing, but it all hinges on Teofimo proving he can handle the power and pressure of Israil Madrimov. Should he rise to the occasion, it would set the stage for one of the most exciting matchups in recent memory, a collision between two explosive fighters with everything to prove. Premier Boxing Champions has officially announced the fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, set for December 14th at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, to be broadcast on Prime Video. The pay-per-view price and undercard details will be disclosed at a later date. Roach, the current WBA Super Featherweight Champion, will be moving up to the lightweight division to challenge the undefeated Gervonta "Tank" Davis for his title at 135 pounds. If the PPV price mirrors Tank Davis's previous title defense against Frank Martin, set at $76, fans might not be too pleased. Many feel the pricing is excessive, especially if Davis continues facing opponents perceived as less competitive. Some believe that if enough fans opt out of purchasing these PPVs, Davis would be pressured into facing higher caliber opponents. However, Davis has a loyal fan base willing to pay for his fights, regardless of the opposition. This dynamic creates little incentive for him to seek out more challenging matchups, which could potentially take a toll on his career. Despite the criticism, both Tank and Roach's fan bases are excited for this bout, considering it a compelling matchup. For Roach, this is a leap ahead of the 15 lightweight contenders in the WBA's rankings who have been patiently waiting for a shot at Davis's title. Roach's sole loss came against Jamal Herring in 2019. But he has since bounced back with 6 consecutive wins against a mix of mid-tier opponents and legitimate contenders. Notably, he claimed the WBA Super Featherweight title by defeating Hector Luis Garcia, an opponent Tank Davis previously faced, via a 12-round split decision in November of last year. From a strategic standpoint, Roach presents less of a threat to Davis than some of the top lightweight contenders like Andy Cruz, Floyd Schofield, Raymond Muratalla, or Keyshawn Davis. But in the end, Davis needed an opponent, and Roach fit the bill perfectly. Faced with the choice of either sitting out the remainder of 2024 or staying active with a fight against Roach, Davis opted for the latter. Skipping the entire year wasn't an option, especially since he had already gone 14 months without fighting following his high-profile victory against Ryan Garcia in 2023. His return came in June of this year with a win over Frank Martin. While some fans might see this matchup as a stay-busy fight, Roach shouldn't be underestimated. He's shown resilience and skill, especially with his 6-fight win streak after his defeat to Herring. In fact, he might pose a tougher challenge to Davis than Frank Martin or Ryan Garcia, both of whom gave Tank competitive bouts before succumbing to his knockout power. Roach's talent and determination will certainly be tested on December 14th, but he has the potential to push Tank Davis in what could be a more competitive fight than some may expect. Subscribe. Please like and comment. This is very important for the development of the channel. See you later.